Small School Success Through Collaboration by Zane Johnston. Collaboration in schools comes in many different ways and techniques. School districts that urge teachers to collaborate are at a distinct advantage in getting the most out of every teacher, but more importantly, collaboration can make classroom learning more effective for each and every student. I conducted my teacher interviews in the Albany Independent School District, located in Albany, Texas. It's a small Class 2A school. I conducted the first interview with Lavelle Vinson, who works at Nancy Smith Elementary School in Albany. She is currently a fourth grade reading and writing teacher and has been teaching for over 20 years. The second interview I did was with Danita Johnston, also in Albany, but works at the Albany Junior Senior High School and is currently an 8th grade English language arts teacher. One thing I knew going into the interview process with these teachers is that their ways and means of collaborating would most likely be different than that of teachers in a massive 5 or 6A school, which is important to note. There's tons and tons of small Class A, Class 2A, 3A schools all throughout Texas, and I felt it was important to conduct my interviews in a small school setting and see how collaboration impacts the classroom, the teachers, and administration in those schools. Both of the interviews I conducted with Lavelle Vinson and Danita Johnson really focused primarily on the topic of collaboration and how collaboration impacts the school as far as teachers, administration, and eventually to the students as well. Um, One of the main questions I had and built around this one question was, how does Nancy Smith Elementary School encourage collaboration amongst the teachers and administration? Miss Vinson at Nancy Smith Elementary School talked mostly on their site-based campus committee. This committee is made up of their principal, their counselor, teachers who are voted in by other teachers, and a few parents in the community. The purpose of this committee is to review test scores and campus achievement, to write the campus plan, figure out what's working, what's not working, what they need to implement. I found it very insightful, the fact that they do meet multiple times a month to make sure that their students are learning and getting not just adequate education, but getting the best education they can possibly provide. Another thing that she mentioned was teachers outside of this campus committee. They don't necessarily have a PLC where they schedule with other teachers um, to collaborate, but teachers are encouraged through their administration to collaborate with each other independently and informally. One thing we'll get into further with the second interview was the fact that this is such a small school. A lot of these teachers don't teach. Um, a lot of these teachers are the only teacher for that specific class. So Miss Vinson is the only fourth grade reading and writing teacher. So she doesn't have another teacher in the school to bounce ideas off of for that given subject. So it's important for them to communicate along other lines, other subjects, to figure out how they can get the most out of their students. In my second interview with Danita Johnston at Albany High School, junior senior high school, again I asked a similar question: what kind of collaboration takes place in the school? She explained, like I just mentioned in the previous slide, that Albany is a small school and most teachers are the only teacher for that specific subject in that grade level. She explained to me that it was extremely important for her to collaborate with other teachers above and below, so 7th and 9th grade teachers in the English department, to collaborate with them to ensure that they as teachers are aligning their instruction and they're not skipping important information, important curriculum. They're aligning their education, their instruction with each other. By doing this, it really gives a good flow for the students to go from one grade to the next and really have that consistency that is needed. Another question I asked her was, how are teachers ensured to be following the campus plan and vision? Ms. Johnston accounts much of Albany's success in the classroom to their veteran teaching staff. Now, all schools are not fortunate in that aspect to have so many teachers that have been, not just in Albany, but have been teaching for 20 plus years. But for them specifically, she said, our core staff consists of veteran teachers, most teaching for over 20 years. When new teachers join the staff, mentoring from veteran teachers begins really immediately in an informal manner. Teachers in Albany have a strong sense of shared purpose. They want to see young people graduate and stand on their own 2 feet, go on to college, and be successful in the workforce and be good citizens. Being such a short presentation, it's hard to dive deep into every question that was asked in these interviews, but in summary, it's very evident that Albany, both Nancy Smith Elementary and Albany Junior Senior High School, have a clear vision for their teachers and students. Collaboration is definitely part of that foundation for fulfilling the purpose in the classroom. It was evident that autonomy, mastery, and purpose are clearly encouraged by the administration. These teachers are asked to collaborate informally in most situations, and that trust that the administration has in the teachers to make sure that they're communicating with each other and doing lesson plans accordingly, and like Ms. Johnston, having to really collaborate more with teachers teaching above and below her. It really shows the kind of leadership the administration has in Albany. Both teachers bragged about that trust that they get from their administration, and that really motivates them and allows them to be the best teachers they can possibly be. This interview process was very insightful. I went through the small school system as a student, and being a high school student, for sure elementary school student, you don't think about how the teachers prepare and get ready for class each and every day, but going through this interview process definitely opened my eyes to seeing the challenges that they have, but more times than not, both of these teachers acted like being at a smaller school was almost an advantage for them. It gave them a chance to really build that trust with each other, have the relationships with other teachers as well as the administration, and it's clear to see why Albany has been so successful in the classroom from the early stages all the way up until graduation.